Unity is prosperity. Be united with elements of uprightness, elements that will energize and stimulate, and you certainly will prosper. Unity is a big topic. Of recent date, many of us have been delving into this subject of unity. Unity. There are many, many responses. There are many thoughts about unity. One of the foremost idea that is coming through is this one. There are a number of individuals who are saying we do not need to be praying for unity. We need to get up and be united. Now, I'd like you to get the fullest understanding of what those people are saying. They're not minimizing the power of prayer. They're not saying that we should not pray. But you know, Joshua, in Bible days, they had suffered great defeat at some point or other, and he was flat on his face, crying out to the master. The master said, get up, stop the crying out, and get into battle. That's what they're talking about. If we're to pray for anything, we ought to be praying for the Lord to help us to get the capacity to receive the energy, the strength, the resources that He has already provided for our unity. 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 It's not a man design something. It's God design. Jesus, in praying for his disciples, mentioned something like this: that they all may be one, Father, even as we are one. Yes, for Jesus, unity was all important. For the early church, unity was very important. And if we are going to get somewhere, if we're going to prosper, if we're going to develop in righteousness, creating an existence for this present life and for the life to come, unity is all important. Jesus says again, one body, one family, one mission. That's what it's talking about. The Father, in Him, He's in the Father, and they should be in Him. Yes, in truth, we're all different to some extent. Different styles, different opinions, different backgrounds. We're eating different things. We associate with different people. So there are differences. But the differences are the seen differences. They're insignificant. There is that overall unity. where there is a blending of mental, intellectual, and spiritual energy. Why unity matters. Division weakens. When we are divided, we become very weak. The enemies, all the enemies of humanity, or within the circle of humanity, they know that very well. And so one of the things that they will do, the big thing is divide and rule. When they are divided, they don't have the strength to push back. They don't have the strength to lift up. They don't have the strength to bring healing. They don't have the strength to energize one another. Division will cause us to die. But when we are united, we live. Unity is important because division weakens. Unity is important because we are strengthened when we are united. And more than that, when we are united, we're testifying to others that we belong. That we belong. First and foremost, that we belong to the Master of the universe because He is all about unity. We're testifying that we're able to work with the resources given to us. We're testifying that we're able to build, to generate life. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples when you have love one for another. The human family is one body. And more so when we come to talk about being in something like a church. We're one body with different gifts, different talents, different personalities, but we have the same mission. The same mission. We could draw our mission statement from Jesus' mission statement. Spirit of the Lord is upon me. That is the binding factor, because He has anointed me to bring good tidings to humanity, to heal humanity, to bind up the brokenhearted, to set at liberty them that are bruised. And in that one mission endeavor, we want humanity to be better. We want to build the kingdom of God. That's where we experience the unity. Unity does not speak of sameness. No. There are differences, as we've mentioned before. They're different in height, different in educational ability, different in resources. But when we have the same mission, the same love, and we're united in bringing fulfillment to humanity, and we're united, we endeavor to keep the unity of the Spirit, says Paul in Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 3. Yes, there are some things that will hinder our unity. And I'd like us to pay attention to them quite carefully. Because when we practice such things and expect others to be united with us, join in the group that we are functioning, we're only fooling ourselves. Let me tell you some things that will destroy unity. Pride. Pride. And you know something? There are many, many people walking around full of pride and they don't even know that they are walking in pride. It's not always the person who come out and say, I'm a cut above you. No, some people, they're praying with you. They're eating with you. But deep down in their heart, they're better than you are. And they would like somehow for you to know it. And they display it maybe in words, in attitude, in showing off, pride. Another thing that is will break unity, lying. Lying. And I noticed that in today's world, many pride themselves in how they can fabricate and get away with it. The simplest tinge of lying will destroy unity. As soon as a person discovers that you are a liar, even if you're lying on their behalf, and I've seen plenty of that, lying to help others, lying to help wife get out of the situation, lying to help husband get out of that situation, lying to help children get out of some situation. Whenever you deliberately lie, you're losing respect. And once people lose respect for you, they will not be fully joined with you. I'm not saying that they won't eat with you. I'm not saying that they won't sleep with you. I'm not saying that they won't walk with you. But they're walking, talking, eating, sleeping cautiously. If she could have done that, they will do it again, and they will do it to me. Lying destroys unity. Gossip destroys unity. A dramatic way of doing things, bringing in all the drama, destroy unity. Jealousy, hate, unforgiving spirit, love for position. I'm not saying we're not to love our position and we're not to do everything to maintain our position. But when we get so position conscious that we will do anything to get into certain position, we're destroying unity. Only by pride cometh contention. Proverbs 13 verse 10. When we talk about unity, yes, as I mentioned before, there are those who are suggesting they don't walk around and pray for unity. The time now is that we pray for strength to accept the resources provided for our unity. Some things that will build unity. We don't just want to look at what will destroy unity. Let's look at what will build unity. Love. We're not talking about those cheap talk when people are talking about we ought to love one another. They're only talking about what they can get out of you, what they can get out of the institution, what they can get out of the organization. They're talking about genuine love. Love for others. Love for yourself. Love for the family. Love for the institutions or organization that you work for. Love for God. When you love so much that you feel a part of what there is, and you can donate to that cause, you can make sacrifices for that cause, you help that cause to develop, you help those individuals to develop. Love will build unity. Humility will build unity. Forgiveness will build unity. And I'm not talking about the folly that some people, they feel that forgiveness must minimize or eliminate justice. I'm talking about real forgiveness. Respect. Respect yourself. Respect others. Great respect for God. Supporting energy. Contribute. Don't just wait to be contributed to. Contribute. And we will build together. And we will be united. Be kindly. Affection one to another. Romans 12 verse 10. Unity starts with you. Each individual must begin to see themselves as a starting point for unity. The way we talk. Have you met some people in your lifetime and they blurt out things, whatever they want to think, that's their business, and they just talk anyhow, anything? That does not help unity. The way we treat people, the way we treat people. As ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. Treat others with respect. Treat others in love. Help others to grow. The way we respond to whatever is around us. You know, when Jesus even said, love your enemies, you're not talking about going out there looking for those bloodthirsty men, wrap up with them in bed, or sit down with them around dining table. He's laying a principle there. Respond even to the enemy in a dignified, upright way, and you will find unity. The way we forgive will help to build unity. Unity is a choice. Unity, again, it's not something you just get around, pray for unity. You choose to be united with this one, that one, the other one. You choose to be in unity, that they may be made perfect in one. Jesus prayed for his disciples. Unity is strength. Unity will come when we can begin to, and I emphasize the fact that some people say, no, don't love yourself, but you love yourself because you see yourself as a part of the great universe. You see yourself as connected to the master of the universe. You see yourself as connected to the estate, and you see others as connected to the same estate, related to the same master of the universe. Their good is in your mind. You're not minimizing your good or your interest. And I want to emphasize a little point here. Self-interest is a different category to selfishness. We must have self-interest. When you have that self-interest, and you begin to spread that love abroad. You can only give what you have. Yes. One writer says, the closer we come to Christ, the nearer we shall be to one another. The closer we come to Christ, the nearer we shall be to one another. Because we begin to see begin to understand what he's talking about when he talks about unity. He said, I'll serve you. Come to serve. Come to lift you up. Come to build you up. There is power in unity. There is power in unity. When you are united, your resources, all the resources pooled together, will give you that energy to accomplish almost anything. Let's look at what real unity is all about. Unity means that we can genuinely love together, serve together, grow together, draw from the same source together. One of the greatest elements in the unity development is prayer. 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 Yes, I've been mentioning to you that we needed to stop praying, but you pray. When you pray and you say you have faith and you begin to reach out and there is no works, there is no application, then you're wasting time. But you pray for the capacity to receive from the great sources the ability to be united with those around us. We need to sit back and begin to think about unity. Let's not just make it a topic that we have to go through because it is the topic spoken about now. We must begin to see unity as the strength of our existence, as the main source for our development. Let's break it down a little bit more. There are some institutions, some organizations, when it's time to fund the organization, to put in resources, we are united. When there is time for distribution, we're not on equal footing. The favored few are blessed with the cream. Bible tells us that the early church, the brethren pooled their funds together. They had things in common. They were not just putting in their funds for Peter and James to be working from some grandiose office block. Come on now, work with me. They were not just putting in their funds for Paul to travel from Ephesus to Philippi to Colossae to Rome to this place or the other place. They were not putting in their funds that this one could have the hospital bed free. And the others, although they are funding it, they still have to pay to get there. They pool their resources so that they could have things in common. The same opportunity for Peter, the same opportunity for James, the same opportunity for Paul, so that they could have things in common. Let's stop just praying. Pious talk. We sort of weave unity into the emotional atmosphere so that we can get people worked up to contribute. Let's get them in a humble state where when they contribute, the distribution will take them in as well. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. When we talk about unity, we're not just talking about ourselves. We're talking about the group we're in. We're talking about the family we're in. We're talking about the community within which we live. We're talking about our nation. We're talking about the universe. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, that you are my followers, when you have love one for another. Many are deliberately bringing about division, smashing unity asunder. Don't focus on them. Where you stand, bring unity. Where you stand, speak to unity. Where you stand, write about unity. Where you stand, see that unity. You know, when you want to excel and you want to be heard, you want to be seen, you want to get all the opportunity. We were in a group once, and a young man, he was very clever at the games we were playing. But sometimes he deliberately caused himself to lose. And we begin to wonder why. And his statement was something like that. Are you all stupid? If I should win all the time, will you want to play with me tomorrow? That's what we're talking about. You want to be so mature that you can see the need of other people. The others need to have a little of that upbeat, a little of that touch. You know, when you win the game or when you make a winning, you feel elevated. The other fellow needs some of that too. Find a way to contribute to others, and others will contribute to you. So, as we would say all along, be wise and prosper today. Let us be united. Let us, as Ellen White made the statement, press together, press together, press together. Find those that we can make that meaningful. There are those around, if you press with them, you're in a sad state. There are those around, if you press with them, you will be in big trouble. There are those around, if you press with them, you will die. But there are still many people, many around, that we can press together, and advance the cause of righteousness, build the kingdom, the present form of the kingdom, and the kingdom to come. Be blessed as you unite. Unite with the Master of the universe. Unite with the estate. Unite with your fellow stewards and experience great prosperity.